Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to hop on and explain why I regret buying this Newton Bassinet. But before I get started, I do want to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. I usually put out videos about handbags and jewelry, but lately, because I'm a new mom, I also put out reviews of mom and baby products. So this is the Newton Bassinet. It is a bassinet meant for a newborn baby, and its kind of identifying or distinguishing feature is that it has a breathable mattress, so that if your baby is face flat on the mattress, theoretically they're supposed to be able to breathe through the mattress and not suffocate. We purchased this in November of 2023 for $240 plus tax on a Black Friday sale. The regular price is $300, but they almost always have a 20% off sale, so I would suggest never paying full price for a Newton product. You'll wait a couple weeks and they'll have a 20% off sale. We also bought sheets for the bassinet mattress, like special Newton sheets that are supposed to be breathable, for $40 for the pack of 3. The context in which we use this bassinet is we used it for our first baby from birth. And we also traveled with it once on a road trip, like broke it down and took it to a hotel. Honestly, we hardly used it after the first month. We put our baby in their crib instead, but that's the context, that's kind of the basis of my review. So first I'll go over an overview of the product, and then I'll explain why I regret buying it and what I wish I had bought instead. As a side note, we do also have a Newton crib mattress, which again is a breathable mattress, but it's for a crib, and we purchased that for $240 as well. So starting with an overview of the product, it is a bassinet, obviously, and it is a Newton breathable mattress. So it's, like I said, advertised as not posing a suffocation risk. So the bassinet has this bedside mode where you can unzip this zipper here, also unzip it on the other side, which is off frame. And then you can open it up, and there's a little clip here that you unclip, like so. And then this will come down, and you do the same thing on the other side, again off frame. And then this can open, like so. So then you have a little bit of a lower opening, and you can use it on your bedside to pull your baby in and out as you're in bed. The clips are a bit awkward to use, in my opinion, because you have to pull this back. It's particularly awkward to put it back on because you have to line up the notches on the clip perfectly. So I didn't, when I would use the bedside mode, I would usually just leave it open, which is not safe. You're not supposed to do that. But in the middle of the night, I just found it really hard to put the clips back on, in the dark and things like that. The bassinet also is height adjustable. So on the side here, you can just pull the this lever out, and you can adjust the bassinet up and down depending on the height of your bed. The mattress on the inside comes out like this. It's a pretty thin mattress, as you can see. And it is completely washable. So if I scoot you back a bit, you'll be able to see. So the sheet will obviously come off. And then you have the mattress cover. And the mattress cover can be unzipped. And then all that's in the inside is this plastic support, and then a plastic piece that's harder. So you can take the mattress cover off and throw that in the washing machine, which is super helpful. Because our son would spit up a lot, so you can kind of see some of those stains here actually. So being able to wash the mattress cover meant that these stains would go away. And then if you have something like poop or throw up or something that's a little bit grosser, you can also hose down this plastic bit that's the inside of the mattress in your shower. So it's completely washable, and then obviously you can wash the sheets as well. So that is kind of a nice feature. We have used that feature both on the bassinet mattress as well as our full-size Newton crib mattress that we have as well. And then, like I said, we did buy the Newton sheets. They're just a muslin, cotton, but they're supposed to be breathable. You can see they're really thin. So, obviously you wouldn't want to buy, I don't even know if you could find sheets that would fit this mattress that are not Newton branded, but you wouldn't want to buy non-breathable sheets to put on your breathable mattress because that negates the whole point of it. And you just, this is a very expensive bassinet, so you're buying it for that breathable feature. It claims to be travel friendly, and the instructions include like how to fold and store the bassinet. I will get into this more in the regret section, but I will note that like to do this, you need like tools. This is not like, a pack and play where you just pull a lever and the whole thing can collapse. You need an Allen wrench and you also need a screwdriver. So, insofar as you think that that's not travel friendly, which I personally don't, I think that travel friendliness is a bit of an oversell by Newton. The other thing it claims to have a largest in class sleeping area, which is true. It's very large. You can see there, it's very large. It could probably fit, I don't know, I think it's like upwards of 30 plus inches. So certainly more than a 6-month-old would fit in there. But I will say that there are warning labels on the sides that preclude it from being used by older babies. In particular, it says, do not use this product when a baby can roll over or has reached 20 pounds. And so my baby actually started rolling over at like 4 to 5 months. So as much as, the bassinet itself is very large, I think a lot of babies will grow out of it because of that warning before they're 6 months old. And that's actually, so moving on to like why I regret buying this, that's actually one of the first reasons that I regret buying this. I thought that by buying this, because it was so large, we would be able to use it for a long time. But because my baby started rolling over, relatively quickly, we didn't feel safe using this after like 4 months. So that's like 2 full months of use that we didn't get for the product. And the thing is that, on the website, all they say is largest in class sleeping area, and they explicitly say that it can be used up to 6 months. But the warning on the side about the rolling is nowhere on the website. So there's no way I could have predicted or could have known that that was a limitation on how we could use this product. So in that sense, I'm like pretty annoyed about how falsely advertised the product was, and I wish they'd been just more truthful or more honest about the limitations of the product. The second reason I regret buying this product is I just don't think it was comfortable for me as a mom to use it. So I debated between this and then something like the Halo Innovation Bassinet that like swivels and could almost be on top of my mattress, like really close next to me. And I chose this because it's breathable and I was really, really worried about suffocation. But for me, actually, immediately postpartum, like unclipping this and then leaning down into the bassinet to get the baby was really hard. I didn't have that like strength in my core. So I would end up actually just fully getting out of bed, getting the baby, and then fully getting back into bed. So at that rate, like I didn't need a bedside bassinet at all, actually. We could have just used our crib or could have used a cheaper bassinet. And so like I kind of, I didn't use the bedside mode. I found it really uncomfortable for me. Maybe my bed is too high. Maybe I just was weak in my core and other moms aren't, but I just didn't find it super comfortable. The other reason that we didn't really use it and that I kind of felt unsafe using it is because the frame is actually quite wobbly. So this may end up being hard to see on video, but if you can see, the bassinet itself moves like that. And I think it is because down there at the bottom where like the bottom legs connect to the adjustable height, you can see there's like a bit of wobble. Like this bar moves relative to that piece. And so what that actually meant is that when my baby was not perfectly centered in the bassinet, like suppose we just put the baby like a little bit off center, the whole bassinet would actually lean just a bit, not a ton, but he would actually end up rolling to the side. And so he would be smushed up against the side of the bassinet. And so I actually felt like that was pretty unsafe. Now, maybe the sides are breathable, but it was just scary because this part, especially for the bassinet or the bedside mode, this part right here doesn't look breathable to me. So that scared me because I was worried he was pushing his face against, something that was just solid cloth. I did actually end up emailing Newton to complain about this because I thought it was just a defective product. Like, why would my baby be rolling? Like, my newborn baby who was not like mobile at all. Why would he be rolling around? And they actually told me it was designed this way. It was designed to have that like rocking or like to have that give, which seems like a design flaw to me, but I guess it was designed perfectly in their mind. So basically I was nervous to use this because my baby would end up rolled to one side. And like the whole reason I bought this thing is because I was worried about suffocation. But it actually ended up that the design of the product made me worry even more than maybe a different bassinet would that was just level and stable instead of having this like rocking. The other reason I regret buying this is more of a personal like preference thing, is just like we preferred using the nursery crib. So like I said, we had a Newton mattress in the nursery. So what we ended up doing is just putting a twin bed in the nursery, and I would sleep there so that then I could get up in the middle of the night and breastfeed and all those things. And my husband would sleep in our bedroom, so he slept through the night. But then also like I could end up nursing in our glider. I actually ended up getting back pain from nursing in bed when I did use the bedside bassinet, and I just like didn't feel confident changing diapers on my bed, for example. So I would get up anyway to go to the nursery, to go to the changing table, to change the diaper there, and then I would just end up nursing in the glider. So it would have just been easier to have him in the crib and I just sleep in the nursery, since all of the stuff was like all right there. But again, that's just kind of personal preference in the setup of our nursery and things like that. The other reason I regret buying this is because this was not travel friendly as advertised. And I kind of mentioned this at the beginning. So, and it's also not lightweight. So it's advertised as travel friendly and lightweight. So the bassinet is not necessarily super heavy. Like I can lift it now, but it is bulky. So like neither me nor my husband can get it like up and down the stairs comfortably by ourselves. We have to do it together. And then postpartum, like this thing is not light. Like postpartum, I did not have core strength. So I couldn't lift this by myself, even if I wasn't going like up and down the stairs or something. So if you think that you can like take this around your house and like put it in different rooms during the day, like I just don't think that's realistic. I think that it's going to stay in one place because it is relatively bulky and relatively heavy. And then kind of on the same note, this thing is not travel friendly. I already kind of alluded to this before, but to disassemble it for travel, you have to, like I said, use an Allen wrench, unscrew a bunch of bolts. Then I think there's a bit with a screwdriver somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe there's no screwdriver. But there's like a lot of steps basically to fold this thing up. And then when you fold it up, like it's going to just be as small as the mattress itself, which is still fairly large. And it's, again, fairly heavy. So when we took our road trip, we have a sedan. So we needed to put not only a big suitcase, because you're traveling with a baby, so you need to bring a lot of stuff, our stroller, and then this bassinet in the trunk of our sedan. And it was very, very difficult to fit all that in there. So again, I don't think this is super travel friendly. I think something like a pack and play, is kind of the gold standard for travel friendly. And this is nowhere near as convenient. And then the final reason that I regret buying this is because I just don't think that I actually needed a breathable mattress for a newborn. So like I said, our newborn was not mobile. Like, I don't know if other people's newborns are like rolling around to their bellies or things like that, but our newborn did not roll, did not shove his face onto the mattress. Like, he would have been perfectly fine in a normal bassinet that, like I said, was level. And then when he was rolling, when he was like 4 to 5 months, first of all, he can't use this because it says not to use it with the baby who rolls. But second of all, at that point, we were kind of in our nursery full time. And we were glad, I will admit, that we got the Newton mattress at that point because he would get stuck face down on his mattress. So having the Newton mattress really helped us feel better. But the bassinet, was not useful for that stage in life because the warning label says not to use it. So now moving on to what I wish I had bought instead. So ultimately, like I keep saying, we ended up just putting our baby in a crib and I slept in the nursery. So maybe, like, honestly, we just didn't need a bassinet at all. Maybe, like, we could have just gotten by with the crib. I will say it was nice to have multiple places for our baby to sleep when, like, my husband and I were taking shifts. So, like, or you know, in certain circumstances, like sometimes one time, like for a couple of weeks, we actually put the bassinet in the basement during the summer because it's really hot in the upstairs of our house, but our basement is very cool. So being able to move this, not easily because it took both of us, but move this from upstairs to the basement was helpful for like naps and things like that when it was very hot in the middle of the day. But you know, we were thinking maybe we should have just bought another crib and another Newton mattress for like our bedroom. So we'd have one in the nursery and one in our bedroom so that we would have that flexibility of having multiple places for our baby to sleep, but not having this product that's actually only useful for like the first 4 months and is rickety and like makes the newborn roll and all these things. And this is especially true because we want multiple kids. So eventually we're going to have 2 cribs because our crib converts to a toddler bed. So our current baby will probably keep that crib. It'll just be converted to a toddler bed, and then the new baby will need a new crib anyway. So we could have just gotten ahead of that purchase by buying that second crib. And the other thing that we maybe could have bought, like I said, I ended up sleeping in the nursery, so I'm not sure if this would have been useful, but maybe for a second baby, now that I'm like more confident changing diapers in bed, and maybe I'll find a more comfortable way to nurse in bed and things like that, is buying a different bassinet. So like I said, the Halo like swivel ones that end up kind of sitting near your bed or like kind of almost on top of your bed seem like they would be a good option that we could try. And they are a lot cheaper than this roughly $300 bassinet. So I'll link some examples of what I'm talking about in the description box below. I'll also link our crib if you're interested. But that would have been maybe another option if I really did want a bassinet. So all in all, regret this purchase, but I do really like our Newton crib mattress. So if you're thinking about like what to buy and like you know, don't necessarily know if you need a product from Newton, I did like the Newton crib mattress, did not like the bassinet. That's just my opinion. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye.